This is the Nextorch TA30C one-step strobe tactical flashlight, and I'm going to show you why I think this Red Dot award-winning flashlight has some great controls and why I love the battery options. Stick around. Hello everyone, and welcome to Handheld Light Reviews. I'm bringing you another review, lux test, and real-world usage example of a popular flashlight. Today, I have the Nextorch TA30C one-step strobe tactical flashlight up for review and testing. Now, according to Nextorch, this is the most popular tactical flashlight in the Chinese police force, and it has won bids for police equipment in Germany, Romania, Italy, and other countries. This is related to the one-step aspect of the title. I'm going to talk about what that is in a little bit. But like my other reviews, I'll do an unboxing, go over the published specifications, and cover some of the features, and then I'm going to charge it up, do a lux test to compare it to the other lights I've tested, and then show you a real-world example. So, let's open up the box and take a look. Okay. There we go. The battery was blocking this from being removed. Don't eat this stuff, no matter how good you think it tastes. So here we have it. Of course, the flashlight main unit, the instruction manual, USB-C charging cable, a couple of extra O-rings, lanyard, and the optional 2600 milliamp an hour battery, which I'll get to in a little bit. Let's talk about the published specifications. The body is hard anodized aluminum. The light source is a luminous SST40 LED emitter, and the output range and runtime has a low output range of just 20 lumens. Medium is 330 lumens. High and strobe is 1600 lumens, and the throw is up to 300 meters. I'm going to show you the spec chart here, and if you want to pause this video to review it, feel free. But otherwise, I'm going to continue on to the battery specs. Now, you've got options with this. You can power it with one 18650, like this one here, or two CR123 batteries, or 123s, as some of you like to call it. You're probably familiar with these. Now, when you do use their 2600 milliamp an hour battery, it is charged via USB, and it does come with a cable. And charging time is about 4.5 hours, and it has a red light on the top that shows the charging is in progress, and a blue light means it's fully charged. I'm going to take care of that in just a little bit. But as I mentioned, you can grab any pair of CR123 batteries and use the included adapter tube to fit them in there. It is IP68 waterproof and drop resistant for up to 2 meters, has a warranty of 5 years, and in terms of colors and options, oops, just dropped it. And in terms of colors and options, you can have this flashlight in any color you want as long as it's black. The price, direct from Nextorch, right now is $95 without the battery and $115 with the rechargeable USB-C battery. Also check Amazon. I'm going to put links in the description, and use those links. Helps out this channel at no additional effort or cost to you. So do it, and I appreciate it. And now let's talk about the initial observations. 136 millimeters in length, or about 5.4 inches, 30 millimeter head diameter, or about 1.2 inches, and has a body diameter of just 23 millimeters, just under an inch. The weight without the battery is 97 grams, or 3.4 ounces. Now let's talk about the feel of this. I do like the feel of it. I don't have the biggest hands in the world. I would say they're average size, maybe a little smaller, but this fits in my hand pretty nicely. I do like the nice clean finish that it has on it. And I checked this out. This is a one-piece tube except for the striker and the tail cap. And it does have, as you can see, different knurling and surface changes throughout. The knurling is definitely not overly aggressive at all, but you can still notice it with your bare fingers. You probably won't feel it when you're wearing any gloves. I do like the little tiny indicators that it has on this. You can see it's hot here, but even the plus and negative of the batteries, plus indicators of the mode switcher, which I'll get to shortly. Overall, good quality feeling flashlight. Doesn't feel cheap at all. It does have a 3-point ceramic window breaker in gray titanium. And if you use their battery, their rechargeable battery, it does have a 4-stage capacity indicator. Does not work when you use it with your standard CR123s, but we'll get to that in a little bit. You do also have some optional accessories that you can use. They have holsters, or even like this right here, this FR1 tactical ring, which I'll probably install in a little bit. But for right now, I'm going to charge this up and I'm going to show you how it all works. While we're waiting for that to charge, let's talk about the accessories. The lanyard's pretty decent. I'm not a big fan of lanyards, but it looks like you can hook it right here on this hole if you want to keep the clip even on it. As I mentioned, it does come with a USB charging cable. A USB-C, that is. I got plenty of them. That's why I'm using this one. And a couple of extra O-rings. These are always nice to have. I just keep them in the plastic bag so you don't lose them. And of course, the owner manual. It's pretty small, it's pretty tiny, you almost need a microscope to read it, but you can also download it online, or you can just reference this video in the future when you get yours. Okay, as you can see here, it just has this little teeny tiny LED light. You almost probably didn't see it when I first started charging it up, but now that it's blue, that means it's fully charged. Let's install it. Now I want to show you how the controls work on this. It has two controls. One is this button on the tail cap, and the other one is this magnetic mode selector that's near it. Let's start with that mode selector. It's pretty simple and it's magnetic. It has a very, very positive click to it. It's super easy to use. You don't have to cycle through anything. You just turn counterclockwise and it gets brighter towards strobe, and then turn clockwise to go down to off. It has a very clear click. You don't have to wonder where it's at, and as you can see as I turn it off, you might be able to see that. There's that battery indicator showing me what the charge level is. What else it has is this button, as I mentioned. It's got a pretty cool patented one-step strobe tail switch here that was designed based on feedback from law enforcement agents. So it has two levels to it. First, if you just need to just go to the brightest level quickly, you just gently press it and it comes on. But, as you might know, in a panic mode, or if there's intense activity, your hands can unconsciously just really grip things tightly. So in that type of scenario, you need to invoke the strobe. You just press really hard on the tail button, and you get that. Disorienting anybody that you pointed at, you know how that works. So once again, lightly push, you get the highest level. Push harder, you get the strobe. It's pretty cool. And you don't have to push the button very far to do either one, but it has just enough resistance, just enough spring to it to where it's pretty easy to get the bright mode, but then it's almost like you have to push twice as hard to get the strobe to start to work. So it's pretty cool. All of this adds up to why this flashlight won a Red Dot Award. Now, if you don't know, the Red Dot Award is an achievement of excellence, and it's known by industry professionals as a kind of like a stamp of quality design, and it's considered pretty coveted and quite prestigious. And not every product gets one, but this one did. I think the only drawback to having that button there, and this is shared by a lot of other flashlights, is that you can't stand it on end. It, doesn't do that. But I think that's a small price to pay for the cool functionality of this button. I think the only thing that's missing is it doesn't have a lockout feature, but what you can do is just unscrew it a little bit, and then you're fine. When you need it back, screw it together, and there you go. Here's one thing that you probably noticed about the glass breakers right there and the design of this bezel is that when the light is on, you can see how they offer a shadow right there. And I don't know if that's a big deal to everybody, but it is something that I did notice. And when we go outside, we're going to see if it's even noticeable at all when projecting in a real world scenario. So now that you have a complete overview of this light, I'm going to show you how it does in a basic controlled environment compared to the other flashlights that I've tested. I'm going to use my lux meter and my lumen tube to see how it does. Let's start with the low. About 74, 75 lux. Let's go to medium. So now that you have a complete overview of this light, I'm going to show you how bright it is in a basic controlled environment compared to the other flashlights that I've tested. I'm going to use my lux meter and my lumen tube to see how it does, and we're going to start with the low. Looks to be about 86 lux. Okay. Now medium. About 1233. And now the highest setting, which is also, as I mentioned, equivalent to the strobe setting. About 7,600 lux. Okay? So let's see how it looks outside at night. If you haven't seen this before, this is my backyard, and you can see my fence and my chairs and my fire pit and all that. And beyond that are trees that are around 50 feet away, just on the other side of my creek. Okay, as before, I don't want you guys to consider this actual output. Use the data that I provided earlier, because my conditions can differ from yours. Ambient light and fog, which it is getting ready to storm. We're about ready to get a winter storm, so we've got some fog in the air. But I would just want to give you an idea of what it could look like in an outdoor situation, starting with the low level. I'm just sweeping across my fence there and maybe into the trees a little bit, if you can see it. And then we'll switch up to the medium level. There we go, getting really good and bright now. And again, those trees are about 50 feet away. But you can definitely start to see the fog in the air. And we're really going to see it when I switch to the high level. There we go. That's good and bright. You can see the hot spot there. You can see how much spill it has. And yes, you can see where the glass breakers are kind of covering up the beam. I don't know if everybody's going to like that or not. I don't think it bothers me too much. But it's definitely there. See that? So now that we see the three levels from this point, let's go down to my creek over there and take a look and see what it looks like from a different view. Okay, so I'm out here in the creek. The creek's pretty high. You can probably hear it. And I've got it on the low. You can kind of see it's illuminating what you need to see. And this is pretty effective. I mean, you probably can't tell on the camera, but if you keep it low, it's good for keeping a low profile. You're really not gonna attract as much attention as if you were on the highest setting. And we'll get there in a second, but for right now, let's click up to the medium. So medium really jumps it up. And now, let's shift it up to the highest setting. Boy, that really does a good job. Let me, there we go. You can see quite a ways. And again, you can probably see the fog in the air. It's going to turn to snow soon. What a great light, though. This is terrific. Okay, it's getting cold out here. Let's get back inside into the garage. We're going to check out how this one manages heat. Here's a time lapse using my FLIR thermal camera, and I sped this up, and you can see that right around the 3-minute mark, it seems to level off at 108 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 42.2 degrees Celsius. And this, of course, is on the highest light output setting. All right, now let's check out the FR1 tactical flashlight ring, see how it mounts on this. This is pretty cool. It has the Nextorch logo in it. Really sturdy. Let's install it. Couldn't be simpler. You just take the tail cap off, slide this on, and be mindful of that O-ring right there. Tighten the tail cap. And there you have it. It's pretty handy. You can grip it any way you want to. Pretty cool. I really like the controls and the ergonomics of this one. I like the fact that you can use their battery or any CR123 battery that a lot of us have a box full of. Overall, the quality is very, very good. Very, very nice. The packaging, kind of on the plain side, but I don't think most of you really care that much about it. This is a pretty good flashlight, and if you have a tactical use for it or you're in law enforcement, you should definitely consider it. Use the links in the description below because purchasing through them helps this channel out at no additional cost or effort to you. The support is appreciated. And thanks for watching this. I'll be back soon with another flashlight review and lux test. So until then, consider scribing and let me know your thoughts in the comments below.